Ladies and gentlemen, the toxic manipulator is one of the most dangerous types of people you will ever encounter. They don't just hurt you physically or emotionally, they erode your confidence, twist your perception of reality, and make you doubt yourself in ways you never imagined. The scariest part, many times you don't even realize it's happening until you're already deeply entangled in their web of control. These people operate through deception and emotional games. They know exactly what buttons to push to make you feel responsible for their emotions, their failures, and even their own toxic behavior. They will manipulate your kindness using guilt and obligation as weapons to keep you under their influence. When you try to set boundaries, they make you feel like you're being selfish or unreasonable. They create an environment where you are constantly second-guessing yourself, wondering if you are the problem. A master manipulator never comes across as aggressive at first. They start by making you feel special, needed, and valued. They build trust, positioning themselves as someone who understands you in ways no one else does. And once you're invested, emotionally, mentally, or even financially, their true nature reveals itself. Suddenly, they become unpredictable. They shift between kindness and cruelty, praise and criticism, love and rejection. This keeps you stuck in a cycle of wanting to fix things, hoping to get back to the good moments they gave you in the beginning. One of their most effective tactics is playing the victim. No matter what happens, they will twist the narrative to make it seem like they are the ones being wronged. If they hurt you, it's somehow your fault. If they betray your trust, they will convince you that you pushed them to do it. They refuse to take responsibility for their actions, and instead, they make you feel like you need to apologize to make it up to them, to be better so they don't treat you poorly again. The longer you stay in this toxic dynamic, the more damage they do. They destroy your confidence, making you feel incapable of making decisions without their input. They drain your energy, leaving you mentally and emotionally exhausted. They isolate you from people who truly care about you because they know that if you have a strong support system, you'll start seeing them for who they really are. They thrive on control, and the moment you try to break free, they will use manipulation, guilt, and even anger to pull you back in. The key to protecting yourself from a toxic manipulator is recognizing the patterns early. Pay attention to how they make you feel. Do you feel anxious around them? Do you constantly feel like you have to prove yourself? Do they make you question your own reality? These are all red flags. Once you identify their tactics, you have the power to stop engaging. You do not owe them an explanation, an argument, or closure. You owe it to yourself to walk away, reclaim your confidence, and surround yourself with people who genuinely want the best for you. The energy vampire is a silent killer of ambition, happiness, and inner peace. Unlike outright toxic people who attack you directly, these individuals operate in a more subtle but equally destructive way. They don't scream or demand control. Instead, they slowly drain your energy, leaving you feeling exhausted, unmotivated, and emotionally depleted. The worst part? You often don't even realize it's happening until you find yourself constantly drained and struggling to stay positive in your own life. Energy vampires come in different forms. Some are always negative, constantly complaining about their problems without ever seeking solutions. No matter what good happens, they find something wrong with it. If you share good news with them, they respond with doubt or indifference. Their negativity is like a dark cloud that follows them everywhere, and if you spend too much time around them, it starts affecting your own mindset. Then, there are those who are overly dependent on you for emotional support. Every time you interact with them, they unload their struggles, their pain, and their frustrations on you. At first, you feel like you're helping them, like you're being a good friend or family member by listening and offering advice. But over time, you realize that no matter how much support you give, they never actually take action to change their situation. They are not looking for solutions. They are looking for a place to dump their emotional baggage, and that place is you. Another type of energy vampire is the person who constantly demands your time and attention but gives nothing in return. They always need something from you, a favor, advice, help with their problems. But when you need them, they are nowhere to be found. These people are not interested in mutual, healthy relationships. They see others as tools to be used for their own benefit. They expect you to always be available, but they never reciprocate. Over time, this one-sided dynamic wears you down, making you feel unappreciated, undervalued, and emotionally drained. The most dangerous thing about energy vampires is that they can disguise themselves as close friends, family members, or even colleagues. Because they are not outright toxic, they are harder to identify. You may think you're just being a good friend or a supportive partner, but in reality, you're being drained. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Do you feel refreshed and inspired, or do you feel exhausted and emotionally drained? That feeling is your biggest clue. One of the most important things to understand about energy vampires is that they do not stop unless you set boundaries. If you keep giving them your time and energy, they will keep taking it. They will never realize on their own that they are draining you. It is up to you to recognize the pattern and take action. This doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life completely, though in some cases that may be necessary. But at the very least, you must set limits. Start by limiting the amount of time you spend with them. If you know someone always drains you, don't engage with them for long periods. Keep conversations short and focused. If they start unloading negativity on you, redirect the conversation or end it altogether. It is not your job to carry other people's emotional weight, especially when they refuse to take responsibility for their own growth. Another important step is learning to say no. Energy vampires thrive on people who struggle with boundaries. If you are always available, always willing to help, and always saying yes, they will keep coming back for more. You have to practice saying no without guilt. If someone constantly expects you to drop everything for them, remind yourself that your time and energy are just as valuable as theirs. Prioritize yourself. Protecting your energy also means surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. The people in your life should add value, not constantly take it away. Seek out relationships that are based on mutual support, encouragement, and positivity. When you spend time with people who challenge you to be better, who celebrate your wins, and who bring positive energy into your life, you will feel more motivated and fulfilled. Energy is everything. It determines how you feel, how you perform, and how you show up in the world. If you allow energy vampires to drain you, you will find yourself constantly tired, unmotivated, and stuck. But when you take control of your energy, when you set boundaries, say no to negativity, and surround yourself with people who inspire you, everything changes. You become more focused, more driven, and more in tune with your goals. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, who gets access to your energy? Not everyone deserves it. Some people are meant to be at a distance, while others should be completely removed from your life. And that's not selfish, that's survival. The moment you start protecting your energy, you take back control of your happiness, your success, and your future. The dream crusher is one of the most dangerous people to have in your life because they don't just attack your confidence. They attack your future. They are the ones who, whether intentionally or not, plant seeds of doubt in your mind every time you talk about your goals. They might disguise their negativity as realism or concern, but at the core of it, they are projecting their own fears onto you. They don't believe in their own potential, so they can't stand to see you chasing yours. These people come in many forms. Sometimes they are close friends or even family members who think they are protecting you from failure. They say things like, "Are you sure you want to do that? It's really risky." Or, "Maybe you should have a backup plan." At first, their words seem like genuine advice, but over time, you start to internalize the doubt. You start thinking, what if they're right? What if I fail? And once that thought takes hold, it can stop you from taking action. Other times, dream crushers are people who are simply bitter about their own lives. They gave up on their dreams a long time ago, and seeing you go after yours reminds them of everything they never had the courage to do. Instead of dealing with their own regrets, they try to bring you down to their level. They might mock your ambitions, dismiss your hard work, or even outright tell you that you will never succeed. Their goal is to break your spirit so that they don't have to face the reality of their own inaction. One of the most destructive things a dream crusher does is make you feel like your goals are too big, too unrealistic, or too far out of reach. They push their own limitations onto you, making you question whether you are capable. But the truth is, your dreams are yours for a reason. If you have a vision, it's because you were meant to pursue it. No one else can see what you see, and that's okay. It's not their dream, it's yours. The biggest mistake you can make is allowing their doubt to become your doubt. The moment you start seeking approval from people who don't believe in themselves, you're already losing. If you listen to small-minded people, you will live a small life. But if you choose to block out their negativity and stay focused on your mission, there is nothing they can do to stop you. The best way to handle a dream crusher is not to argue with them, not to try and prove them wrong, but to simply keep going. Let your success be the answer to their doubt. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, push you, and celebrate your progress. Because at the end of the day, your dreams belong to you, not to those too afraid to chase their own. Awareness is power, because without it, you are moving through life blind to the influences shaping your decisions, emotions, and future. Most people don't realize how much they are affected by the people around them. They think they are in control, making their own choices, but in reality, their mindset, confidence, and even their success are constantly being shaped by the energy, beliefs, and words of others. When you are unaware of how certain individuals impact you, you become vulnerable to their influence. You may find yourself making decisions based on fear, self-doubt, or external pressure rather than your own true desires and potential. The first step to protecting yourself is recognizing the patterns. If you constantly feel drained, insecure, or stuck in the same negative cycles, you need to start asking yourself why. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What kinds of conversations are you engaging in daily? Are the people in your life encouraging you to grow, or are they feeding negativity into your mind? Often, people don't realize they are being held back until they step away from toxic influences and experience the clarity and freedom that come with it. Control of your own path. The moment you become aware, everything changes. You no longer tolerate negativity disguised as advice. You stop justifying toxic behavior. You see when someone is draining your energy and you take action to protect yourself. You become intentional about who you give your time, focus, and trust to. And most importantly, you start living life on your own terms. True power comes from knowing what influences you and choosing to surround yourself with people, ideas, and environments that push you forward instead of holding you back. The more aware you become, the more control you have over your future. And when you take control of your future, you become unstoppable. Setting boundaries is one of the most important skills you can develop if you want to protect your energy, your peace, and your success. Without boundaries, you leave yourself open to being drained, manipulated, and controlled by others. Many people struggle with this because they fear conflict, rejection, or disappointing those around them. But the truth is, if you don't set boundaries, people will take as much as you allow them to. It's not their responsibility to protect your time and energy. It's yours. Boundaries are not about being rude or shutting people out. They are about respecting yourself enough to say, this is what I will and will not tolerate. They are a way of communicating your needs and expectations clearly so that others understand how to treat you. When you don't set boundaries, you send the message that you are available at all times, that you will tolerate disrespect, and that your needs come second. Over time, this leads to resentment, burnout, and frustration because you feel like you're constantly giving but getting nothing in return. The first step in setting boundaries is recognizing where you need them. Pay attention to where you feel drained, frustrated, or taken advantage of. Do you have people in your life who constantly demand your time but never give anything back? Do you have relationships where you feel obligated to say yes, even when you want to say no? Do you find yourself overcommitting because you're afraid of disappointing others? These are all signs that you need stronger boundaries. Once you identify where boundaries are lacking, the next step is communicating them. Many people assume that others will automatically respect their limits, but the reality is, most people won't unless you clearly state them. You don't have to be aggressive, but you do have to be firm. If someone constantly unloads their problems on you, but never asks how you're doing, let them know that you can't always be available for emotional support. If a friend or colleague expects you to drop everything for them, be honest and tell them you have other priorities. The key is to communicate your boundaries without guilt or apology. Enforcing boundaries is where most people struggle. It's easy to set them, but when someone pushes back, it can be tempting to give in. This is where self-respect comes in. People who are used to taking advantage of your time and energy will test your limits. They may guilt trip you, try to make you feel selfish, or pressure you to change your mind. But if you stand firm, they will either learn to respect your boundaries or remove themselves from your life. Either way, you win. Boundaries are the foundation of healthy relationships. The people who truly care about you will respect them, and the ones who don't were never meant to be in your life in the first place. When you set strong boundaries, you create space for relationships that uplift you rather than drain you. And you take control of your life instead of letting others control it for you. Your environment shapes you in ways you don't always realize. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, and the energy you allow into your space all influence your mindset, emotions, and success. If you want to grow, thrive, and reach your highest potential, you need to be intentional about the environment you create. Too many people allow negativity, distractions, and toxic influences into their lives without realizing the damage being done. They assume they can stay strong, unaffected, and immune to outside forces, but the truth is, no one is invincible to their surroundings. Your environment is like the soil in which you plant your goals and dreams. If the soil is rich and full of nutrients, your ideas will flourish. But if the soil is toxic, filled with doubt, negativity, and small-minded thinking, your potential will be stunted before it even has a chance to grow. Look at the people you interact with daily. Do they inspire you, challenge you, and push you forward? Or do they drain your energy, fill your mind with fear, and keep you stuck in the same place? One of the biggest mistakes people make is keeping themselves in environments that don't support their growth. This could be a workplace where everyone complains and has a negative mindset. It could be a social circle that discourages ambition and makes you feel guilty for wanting more. It could even be your own home, filled with people who constantly criticize or undermine your confidence. The longer you stay in an environment that limits you, the harder it becomes to break free. Success is not just about talent, hard work, or intelligence. It's about alignment. If you are in an environment that supports your vision, you will naturally start moving in the right direction. But if you are surrounded by negativity, you will always feel like you're swimming against the current. The most successful people in the world didn't just work hard. They positioned themselves in places that nurtured their growth. They sought out mentors, built relationships with people who challenged them, and removed themselves from environments that held them back. You must be ruthless about protecting your space. That means cutting out toxic relationships, limiting your exposure to negative influences, and being intentional about what you consume. The conversations you have, the media you watch, the books you read, and the thoughts you entertain all contribute to your internal environment. If you are constantly feeding your mind with negativity, drama, and self-doubt, how can you expect to feel motivated and empowered? But if you surround yourself with positivity, growth, and inspiration, your mindset will shift and success will start to feel natural. Creating the right environment isn't just about eliminating the bad, it's also about actively seeking out the good. Find people who uplift you, challenge you, and push you to be better. Join communities that align with your goals. Create a space that energizes you rather than drains you. If you can't physically change your environment right away, start with small shifts. Listen to motivational content, engage in conversations that expand your thinking, and create daily habits that reinforce the mindset you want to develop. The reality is, your environment will either make or break you. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you are surrounded by negativity, you will always feel like something is holding you back. On the other hand, if you are in an environment that fosters growth, you will find yourself naturally rising to new levels. The choice is yours. Either let your environment control you or take control of your environment. When you make the decision to create a space that fuels your success, nothing can stop you from reaching your full potential. At the end of the day, your success, happiness, and peace are in your hands. The people you allow into your life will either push you forward or pull you down. And if you are not intentional about who gets access to your time, energy, and mind, you will find yourself stuck in cycles of negativity, self-doubt, and frustration. The three types of people who will destroy you: the energy vampires, the dream crushers, and the manipulators. are not always easy to spot, but once you become aware of their influence, you take back control. Awareness is your first line of defense, boundaries are your shield, and your environment is the foundation upon which your future is built. If you do not protect these things, no amount of talent, ambition, or hard work will be enough to overcome the weight of toxic influences. It is not selfish to cut out negativity. It is not wrong to walk away from people who drain your energy, make you doubt yourself, or manipulate your kindness for their own benefit. The people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries, celebrate your growth, and support your dreams. Those who don't, they were never meant to be part of your journey. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Protect your energy like your future depends on it. As it does. And most importantly, never let the fear, doubt, or small-mindedness of others dictate what you are capable of. The only person who gets to decide your success is you.